Hey guys, how's it going? Today I wanted to talk about should we tame wild animals? Or actually any animal in general, if you really think about it. Well, it's a difficult subject. I basically think that in some way we should probably not tame any animals. After all, if you really think about it, dogs and cats now kind of have to rely on us because they're not really able to live within the wild and stuff like that because we've tamed them so much throughout centuries of breeding and centuries of having them live with us that eventually they can't live in nature, you know? Now at this point, because they have been tamed, it's kind of like we have to have them as part of our they've become kind of like almost human in some way, you know. They're part of our society, and we kind of owe it to them for having made them so tame to actually start to take care of them. And now they seem to be very happy, but I don't know if it really was that way, because after all, wild animals at the same time, they're really happy being in nature. And yeah, there's the wild and there's people who, other animals that can kill them, and it's always the hunt, you know. But at the same time, that's the way that nature was made. At the same time, we were not really tamed in this way. We were able to basically hunt and live outside, and now because of the way society has made us, we are actually weak. We're not knowledgeable on hunting. We're not really able to live by our own means in the wild, so we create cities, and then once the cities are created, then we're tamed. We've tamed ourselves. Does it make it better? I'm not really sure if you really think about it. I mean, again, it comes down to something I talk about a lot, is we're forced to work. At the same time, it's usually jobs that don't really, how can I say, they're not gonna, most of the office jobs and stuff, they're not gonna be life-threatening jobs, so we have a good chance of actually coming back alive home. But at the same time, we're forced, because of money and stuff like that, to give into that if we want to live in the society. And in the olden times, humans were able to just barter for stuff, where they could hunt or find their own way and live through things by their own wants. So, I don't know. It's really, really difficult, you know? So, yeah, should we tame wild animals? I think probably not. If you really think about it, again, they're wild. So, do we really need to see them in a zoo for our enjoyment? Maybe if some animals are becoming extinct and we need to give them like a little boost, it would be better to have them in like sort of like wildlife reserve and see how we can help them so that they can grow their population and give them a little boost. And then once they've gotten to that point, then start releasing them little by little in the wild, and making it in such a way that we don't tame them so much that they forget their instincts, because after all, they do need to learn how to do things, and they do need to learn how to get to places, and they do need to learn how to just take care of themselves, because that's the way nature is. And at the same time, if we're taming all these animals and taming all these creatures, then what's going to happen is that basically we're going to destroy the ecosystem. If you really think about it, look at how bees are disappearing little by little, and because they're not pollinating plants and having their pollen like sprout new flowers and things like that, it's basically creating havoc throughout the whole world. And that's just the bees. Now we have thousands and thousands of creatures, if not millions, a different type of species of not just mammals, but birds and ants and all these like little insects and stuff like that. And in some way, we kind of understand how they're living on this earth, but I think that every single creature in this world is actually here to create some sort of harmony within the world, and sometimes we don't really understand the impact that they may be having on this world. So it's very important for us to take care of it. And if we were to tame most animals, then there wouldn't be any animals in the wild. And how would that impact the ecosystem? What if the fact that giraffes eat certain species of leaves and stuff from the trees actually is helping out the ecosystem of that place, and by removing all of them, taming them, using them as the equivalent of horses with big necks, for example, through many generations of taming them, then they're not in the wild anymore, and it's tough. Yeah, I don't know. Like, personally, I don't think we should tame animals. And how sad would you be if you were tamed? And I do feel that some people do feel trapped. Like, could be like trapped in a relationship, could be trapped in a job, and that's in some way getting you tamed, And I'm not saying that we need to be wild and crazy, because in some way, the way that we've been tamed as from wild creatures to creatures of the city is there's laws. There's things that we need to abide to. And guess what happens when you don't abide to them? Well, they put you in jail, or you get killed because other people want to kill you because you've done bad stuff. There's a lot of crazy people in this world, and we're living in a sort of orderly chaos, which is weird because everything that we have in the brain makes us want to have order, but then at the same time we decided to create this sort of like chaos within this world because we want more, or our little animal instincts come into place and we do like bad things to help us, or we take advantage of people, or we just want to feel that we're better than somebody else. So that goes back to people who have power within the governments and within this world. They're going to be scared to be taken over. So in order to stay in power, because they've probably fought so hard, and maybe they're just comfortable being in that powerful place, they tame us, the humans, and keep us at certain levels so that we have enough to be kind of happy, but at the same time we don't rebel ourselves, even though now it's getting to a point where I think people are finally understanding that they've been tamed so much and put into positions that are not fair for a proper condition of life. Yeah, you can survive and you can live, but you can't thrive. And I think that's what we're doing in some ways when we're taming a wild animal, is if we're putting it in a cage, or we're changing the nature that they've been accustomed to, and forcing them to live within a confined space with rules that are imposed by us, then what happens is that you live, but you don't thrive. So it just becomes survival, because we have that survival instinct. So when you want to survive, you don't really think. You just do until you have food on your plate, But that's all I have to say on the subject. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.